everyone, Jamie Meloni, your host of the all-new That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we talk with many different professionals from across the globe and across the community. So wherever it is that you're listening to the program, we thank you for listening, thank you for viewing, and if you're a business professional and would like to share your story, we'd like to hear from you too. Visit tbsinterview.com. So today on the program, I'm going to be talking with fellow podcasters Rick and Brandon Norris. They're the host of the Rambling Business program, and you can learn more at ramblingbusiness.com. So I welcome Rick and Brandon Norris to the program today. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having us here.
So, Brandon, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about this program, how it got started, and it's similar to what I do, right? You talk with different business owners, right?
Yeah. So we've both been involved in small business work. My father is an accountant who works with a lot of small businesses, and I have worked as a bookkeeper for a lot of small businesses. So we wanted to focus on the challenges, basically, and the weird things that happen with small businesses and local businesses. So we travel around talking to people, talking about the trials and tribulations of individual areas.
Now, Rick, you're a CPA by trade, correct?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
And so it's not often that an accountant exhibits creativity. So how is it that you found the world of podcasting as a numbers man?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, artistic and creativity in our family goes back generations. My dad was a rockabilly singer for Capitol Records.
Very cool.
If you ever Google Bobby Norris rockabilly, you'll find his records on iTunes. And then I'm a musician. Brandon is a comedy improv person, and he's in creative writing. And then the rest of our family, Devin, who also is the third silent partner, and he's silent more than one way because he really talks through his music. He's a jazz composer. He's the real professional musician that actually composes music for TV. He's our producer and does all the music and the theme song for the podcast. And then our daughter sings, our other son sings. Brandon sings when you give him a chance to.
Well, if with all this creativity and all this artistic, creations besides you, how is it that you go today and play with numbers in accounting? Does it just not bore you to death, or is that something that, is like a break from all the creativity then?
Well, I always said to people, especially professionals, that the fact that I play guitar and write music makes me a better accountant. Because there's a side of your brain that you're not picking on when you're doing the logical side, the left brain side. Did I get that right? Left brain?
Left brain, right side. Yeah, left brain controls right. Yep.
I'm sitting over there. No, never mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just think that when people use all their brain, they become good at anything that they try to do, or at least better. They use more of their resources.
And he's also a strategic planner and business planner. So he's not necessarily just crunching numbers all the time. He's helping businesses figure out where they're going to go in the future. Mm-hmm. So there's sort of a creative side of that.
And half our clients are in the entertainment industry.
Now, Brandon, I heard your father mention that you were in and do comedy and improv training and act. I myself did some stand-up comedy many years ago, nothing professional, just open mic stuff. But, I've talked with a few, comedians, business owners on the program, and they tout the skills that you learn in improv as an excellent reason or medium to perfect your business skills. What would you say that the improv courses and acts that you've put on have helped you with business?
Well, basically, one of the biggest thing is that I'm not afraid of public speaking. I'm not afraid of being in meetings and making myself heard. Being in a sort of collaborative, artistic group makes you able to express yourself pretty well and without fear, which is apparently a big thing for.
Now, you say you're not afraid of speaking in groups. Did that come naturally to you always? Is that something that improv helped you perfect and work around?
I've been a pretty big ham my whole life. Did the high school drama thing. Mm-hmm. And actually got an undergraduate degree in drama from UCI, and then went and did a creative writing master's in Davis, and then became a bookkeeper. So it's a sort of a weird path for me.
But
Right.
what you're doing right now, with the latest thing he's jumping on right now is really the streaming.
Oh yeah. I do all sorts of weird streaming stuff. I stream some role playing games too.
Well,
So,
well, the name of that game is
the Dungeoneers Union. But yeah, so it's a lot of weird skills that I picked up over time.
So how did you find the world of podcasting then? And you've done 30 some episodes. It's a weekly program. Again, Rambling Business is the name of the program. How did podcasting enter into this?
Well, somebody contacted me a year or so ago to do a podcast show, an actual network, and we did a few months with them. But then we decided to jump off on our own. We thought it was more efficient. And we ended that podcast series and started this one because we started traveling. And so as we travel through the country, mostly my wife and I interview businesses. So we have done small businesses all over the U.S. and we'll continue to do them all over the U.S. We've done from Maui to Martha's Vineyards to New Orleans to all over California. And so we have travel tips and we have business tips when we do these podcast shows. So it makes it a little more fun to talk to small businesses all over the country who have specific cultures and specific skills that you may not find somewhere else.
Hence the name Rambling. They're a rambling man. It's a rambling business, traveling from town to town. Where are you all based out of? Where are you from?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So you started there, and talk to me a little bit about how you see different businesses, develop across the different areas. Then obviously a Southern business is going to differ from a New England business, different mentalities, different personalities. How do you see the different areas evolve?
Well, one of them, you think of so many different businesses that we have, and we've done one from the guys on the swamp cruises there looking for alligators in outside New Orleans.
Yeah.
We had a goat farm of all places, Maui, the only goat farm in Brandon. The whole family was there, so the whole family got to taste the cheese that they were making. And in Martha's Vineyard, we got to meet a guy who carves those wonderful eagles that are like 3 feet long that go on the back of these ships. It's a long-standing type of craft that you don't find in California. I mean, you're lucky if you can find an eagle in California.
And these podcasts, again, are on the road. The equipment today makes it very easy to do podcasts on demand. It sounds like you're out there in the field doing these podcasts. Am I correct? Or do you do them in the office? How do you implement them?
Well, we're a multimedia podcast show, but we do have videos from where we go. Everywhere we go, we have a video. We have pictures. And, the takeaways and different things that makes it multimedia, plus music.
Some of those are the interviews. And some of them are sort of the travel tips and nice places to see. But then basically we get together and get the info that we got when we went to Maui or went to anywhere. And sort of talk about it here and bring the stories of these people. So we sort of bring all the information back and do it in the office.
Now, how is it that you're able to travel and do the podcast? Do you do your CPA work from anywhere? Is that one of the situations where as long as you got an internet connection, you can work?
Well, I can, because our firm is paperless and on the cloud. And so all employees actually can work from anywhere they want. But what I was going to say is that one little secret that I'll tell you, but don't tell anybody, is that Brandon's improving comes in handy on this podcast because he has absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about until we go on the air. I write out the outlines, and he basically wings it.
Yeah, that's the story of my program. I was on local AM radio for 3.5 years. I began as a weekly show on real estate because I'm a realtor. I still am. And I used to script my entire interview. I'd write out all my questions because I was nervous about going on the air. And I've always been live. The show, since I just went off radio about 2 months ago. But now I do the program and I record it and everything. But, I got to the point, though, where I would just show up. Sometimes I know very little about the guest on the other hand. It starts to come naturally the more and more that you do the programs and everything. And it's just anybody that can carry a conversation can do a podcast. It's something that's very fun to do. It's an excellent way to develop your business and meet other people. I have a blast doing this, and now I do it every, I do a weekly show, a daily show. We record them all on each Thursday and knock them all out. But it's a lot of fun. Talk to me about the fun that you're having doing podcasting.
Oh, it's great. I mean, this guy is a ham in his own right. So we end up joking around a lot. The reason why I don't prepare is because I find I get more interesting places with jokes and bits and areas to talk about if I don't, if I'm not reading off a script. You sound like a robot, and it
Right.
ends up being terrible. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been joking around with this guy my whole life, and now we do it and record it.
Well,
So,
I mean, you obviously have a great rapport with your father. Does that always come naturally? Talk to us, about how you're maintaining just a great working family relationship.
well, we're a pretty close family. I mean, we get together once a week to have dinner with everyone, which is something that
At Grandma's house.
at Grandma's house.
It's been going on since 1972, before the kids were born. My wife and I were married at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible story. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, so yeah, we're pretty close, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
And we get our criticism from the Honorable Number Two son, the jazz composer, who says,
And Mom.
"Mom." Yeah, we the jazz Devin Norris says, "Yeah, tell Brandon to stop making those clicking sounds."
Hold that point there. I got to take a break. Currently talking to Rick and Brandon Norris. They are the host of Rambling Business, a show similar to this where they interview different professionals, but they do it on the road, a traveling podcast across the country. Learn more at ramblingbusiness.com. So stay tuned. We got another segment with them when we come back from the break on That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0. I'm your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on thatbusinessnetwork.com. Also streamed in our Facebook group at That Business Show. Just go to facebook.com/That Business Show, and we air it inside the group as well. And then made available on demand at the end of the week on iTunes and on YouTube. All shows available in high definition video. And the video is also up on iTunes as a video cast. A lot of people don't know that you can also have a video cast in addition to a podcast on iTunes. So I'm talking to fellow podcasters Rick and Brandon Norris. They are the hosts of the Rambling Business Podcast, a podcast where they talk also with many different professionals from across the country in a mobile type of environment, going from town to town. So the first podcast that you ever did you do it locally? Talk to me about that first experience.
No, that actually was the New Orleans one. We called Business in the Bayou. And the reason why we did that is because we were invited to a wedding outside of New Orleans. And so I said, hey, what a great time to start this new concept. And so, boom. So we found 5 businesses down there, and it started to really gather steam, like one of those big wheel boats.
Right. Now, you're producing the shows each and every week and we actually have a very vibrant podcasting community here. I'm based in Tampa Bay. We have a group called the Florida Podcasters Association that meets every month, 50 or 60 people in the room. My good friend who turned me on to podcasting from the radio just commissioned and released a full-length documentary called The Messengers on podcasting. He's now releasing it in different metros. People can look that up. TheMessengersDoc.com. It was world premiered here at the Tampa Theater. Now it's going to be released down in Miami. And so it talks about podcasting and what it is, where it was, what it's going to be. Talk to the audience about the ease of podcasting and how it's helped your business and even your relationships.
Well, it's definitely good to be able to do things, to not have to go to sort of a central place and sort of a studio to do this. One of the big revolutions I feel has been able to doing it anywhere. When I was up in Davis and we recorded podcasts, I was able to do it remotely, which is just the great development of modern business, is being able to do work anywhere. And so you're not chained to the desk. That's what I think anyway.
Rick, did you want to elaborate on that?
Well, I think the most important thing is that people just got to get the right equipment. And, the right microphone. It's not really that expensive. I'm actually going to be starting another podcast show, not one starring me, but actually a client of mine who is actually a music legend. And she, I explained to her, it's not like the days back in the 50s and 60s when you had to have all this expensive equipment and 3 feet thick of insulation in the room. Right now the microphones and the computers and everything, and if you have a great engineer, of course I never want to downplay that. Engineers are great.
Or else will be cut. So the whole thing will be cut.
Right.
These podcasts coming out will have nothing on it because people will just get pissed at us.
So do you apply any business strategy concepts to your podcast venture?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a reverse of what Walt Disney did, believe it or not.
Okay.
Walt Disney, I actually read this in a Harvard Business Review years ago, and he did his entire strategic plan on one piece of paper of drawings. And so I don't have that with me, but what I could do, I could use Brandon's face kind of as it. It's like, so if you look at his nose, that's like the core, your core competency. So like his nose. And so Walt Disney said it was his motion pictures, his animated motion pictures. That was the core of the company, producing those pictures. But then he had things that were not the core competency. So like Brandon's beard, he had like TV. Remember the Mickey Mouse Club?
Yes.
Yeah. So like that would be his beard here, Mickey Mouse Club over here. They have like merchandising. They'd have like theme parks over here. And up here you'd have like, I guess they end up getting the Mighty Ducks, I guess, or whatever. But all the different things that they end up doing, that were ancillary to his core competency. And it's like this is the heart. His nose is like the heart. Okay. And these are like the organs around here.
Right. You got it all mapped out on his face, all mapped out.
Yeah.
And so basically is that unless the core competency, the main part, his nose, is not working, the rest of it all dies.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so for us, that core competency is, since we've worked with small businesses and the trials and problems with starting and running your own small business, that's our core competency. So that's why we stick to smaller mom and pop kind of places. We don't go to, big box stores or any.
They'd run us out.
They'd run us out.
Right. What are three important points you can give new or existing entrepreneurs to be successful?
I'm sorry.
This one. So the first thing to think about is, as a small business owner, starting a business, you can try to wear too many hats. I mean, you're doing something you love, so you think you can handle every aspect of it. The biggest thing that we'd caution is don't be so prideful that you're not willing to find help from other experts. Basically, you can't wear every hat at once. So it's good to do that. That's one thing.
Do you find yourself learning from other people as you go doing these different podcasts? Because I do. That's one of the reasons I like doing them, because I'm also trying to learn from you as I'm talking to you, and of course educate and entertain the audience as well. But I've learned a lot from so many different people on this program.
Yeah, podcast is my main form of entertainment, I'd say. So I'm always talking to him about, I saw this great thing that someone's doing, or maybe we should reformat things. It's always a learning journey. And that's one of the other important points we give businesses is that the best thing to do is learn from other people who are doing what you're doing somewhere else. So, if you're thinking of starting a general store in a small town, seasonal town, go to a different seasonal town and ask people what the struggles are with this. And that's what we're trying to do with our podcast, is show the struggles and things. Use someone else as an expert, exactly like you're talking about doing with podcasts.
What about marketing your podcast? This is something I always like to ask fellow podcasters, because it's always difficult to get the podcast out to the masses. How are you getting the message out to the community to help build your audiences?
Well, we are on social media like everybody else. We actually have 3 Twitter accounts. One is the CPA practice. The other one is the old podcast show that we have. And the other one, Rambling Business, is on Twitter. And we have actually something else that we do, because we're a multimedia podcast. We actually, Devin's girlfriend, Satya, creates a small 30-second teaser video of every single podcast that comes out. And all these run 24 hours a day on Twitter.
24. How do you run them 24 hours a day on Twitter? How does that work?
So you can do bulk loading, where you put different podcasts, any links, any episodes, links, videos, pictures, and you basically could schedule it while so it's running while you're sleeping. And
okay, so are you talking about using like a service like Hootsuite then? The only difference I know with like Hootsuite though is they won't allow you to post like the same thing. You've got to alter the post somehow.
Right.
So how do you get around that?
That's it. Well, you have to change it. For example, what I suggest is that you do different hashtags.
And so you're running these 20. I mean, how many posts per day are you doing on Twitter? Is it every minute, every 5 minutes? What are you doing?
Let's see. On the past episodes, it's once every 2 hours. No, once every hour. So
once every hour. Okay.
And then on the current show, I think we do it about every half hour.
Every half hour. And that's one thing about, if you did it on Facebook, you'd get unfriended, but on Twitter, it's accepted. As a matter of fact, they say it's even good to post more and more and more. And I'll give a tip to you guys. I've had an excellent experience with a program called Social Quant. You should probably look that up. It's a program, it's $25 a month. And what it is all you do is you go in there and you put the different hashtags that you're looking for your audience to build around, and then just let the program run. It goes through, it'll follow people. If they'll follow you back, and it's not buying followers, it's not doing any of that. You're getting real followers, but it's taken my Twitter account from 1,500 to 5,000 in 3 months. And last night, I noticed my growth was getting a little stagnated, so I went in and I put in about 12 new hashtags related to business, and I got 100 followers overnight. So that program, Social Quant, it was developed by an entrepreneur here in Tampa Bay. I met him once, but he'll even give you a 14-day free trial. So I highly recommend that program. I've tried a lot of different things to grow different social media accounts. I've always tried to avoid the cheating, the buy the follower stuff. But this is a program you set up. It goes out there, it looks for people using those hashtags, it follows them, and then you follow them back. And I don't know, the program just runs. You don't even have to do anything. It's a great program, so check it out. I highly recommend it.
Well, it sounds great. And you know what? One of the four corners of our country, Florida, is one we haven't been to yet. And so I'm hoping to make it down there to do a Rambling Business series. In Tampa Bay sounds like a good place to start.
Well, there's a great, vibrant community of podcasters. So if you're in the area, definitely look me up. Happy to do another show with you and also connect you with other people in the community in podcasting and stuff. So we got to wrap up the program, but I want to thank Rick and Brandon Norris, podcast host of Rambling Business, for being on my program this morning. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. Great talk.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you.
And people can find the program on, where's that? Let me ask you, availability. Tell me where your program is found also.
You find it on not only on iTunes, Stitcher, and pretty much any major podcast directory we are on.
All right. And their website, again, ramblingbusiness.com. And you can learn more about us at thatbusinessnetwork.com. And you can also find this show on iTunes and on YouTube, in addition to the daily new episodes on thatbusinessnetwork.com at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0. I am your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.